The Sapphire Armada was humanity's greatest achievement. A fleet of sleek, silver ships designed to explore the unknown regions of space. Its purpose was simple yet dangerous: to seek out new worlds, study the stars, and defend humanity from threats beyond the solar system. Every ship was equipped with the latest technology, weapons, and AI systems. But beyond the comforts of technology, it was the courage of the human crew that made the fleet legendary. Admiral Kane stood on the bridge of the flagship Sapphire Dawn, his eyes fixed on the endless darkness ahead. The void of space stretched before him, silent and empty, yet strangely alive. "Report," he said calmly, though his mind was alert. A young officer at the communications console looked up, her fingers flying across the controls. "Sir, we are receiving a signal. It's faint, irregular. No known origin. Not from any human outpost, nor any allied fleets." The bridge fell silent. Every officer knew the dangers of uncharted space. Signals that appeared out of nowhere were rarely good news. But this one was different. It carried a strange rhythm, almost like a pattern trying to communicate. "Show it on the main screen," Kane ordered. A holographic display lit up, showing a small, glowing pulse deep in the darkness. It flickered and disappeared, then returned again. No one could tell what it was. The stars around it seemed normal, but the pulse, whatever it was alive. Moved. Slowly, almost deliberately. Captain Rios, the fleet's second in command, leaned forward. "It's coming from the uncharted system. Xylan 9. Sensors detect no planets, no asteroids, nothing that could generate this energy. It's strange, sir." Kane's jaw tightened. "Prepare a probe. Send it ahead. Keep all ships at full alert." He paused, glancing at the officers around him. "Whatever it is, we will find it." As the probe shot forward into the void, everyone on the bridge held their breath. The probe sent back images, but the data was confusing. Shadows appeared and disappeared near the signal. Strange lights danced across the empty space. At first it looked like a glitch in the sensors. But the patterns were too precise, too deliberate. Something, or someone, was there. Lieutenant Aaron frowned. "Sir, the probe is showing something moving near the signal. I can't make it out clearly. It's like a shadow, but bigger than anything we know." The crew exchanged uneasy glances. The shadows seemed to shift and flow, as if the darkness itself was alive. The lights around them flickered strangely, reflecting on the metal walls of the bridge. Even the most experienced officers felt a chill run down their spines. Admiral Kane's voice cut through the tension. "Focus. We are here to explore, to learn, to protect humanity. Fear will not guide us. Keep your eyes sharp and your minds clear." But deep inside, even Kane felt a small spark of unease. There was something unnatural about the signal. Something that made the hairs on his neck rise. He had faced countless dangers before, but the void, the vast emptiness of space, it always carried secrets that no human could predict. The probe sent back another image. This time the shadow seemed closer. A massive form, dark and formless, moved just beyond the reach of the probe's sensors. It was too large to be a simple asteroid or debris. Too strange to be a natural phenomenon. For a brief moment, the crew felt as if they were being watched. "What in the universe is that?" whispered one officer. Kane did not answer. He only stared at the screen, his mind racing. He had a duty. A duty to the fleet. A duty to humanity. And yet, the unknown had never been so frightening. Suddenly, the probe's signal cut out. The screen went dark. For a heartbeat, the bridge was silent except for the low hum of the ship's engines. Then, faintly, a sound appeared in the comms, like a whisper. Words, perhaps, or just a trick of the sensors. It was impossible to tell. The voice was chilling, echoing in the minds of the crew. Lieutenant Aaron shivered. "Sir, did you hear that?" Kane's eyes narrowed. "Yes. Whatever it is aware of us." The fleet held its position near the signal, ready for anything. Strange lights continued to flicker at the edge of the void, shadows moving just beyond understanding. Every member of the crew felt the weight of the unknown pressing down on them. The emptiness of space was no longer empty. It was alive. Watching. Waiting. And in the darkness, the voice returned, faint and unbroken, a whisper across the void. "Whatever is out there, it is watching us." Admiral Kane took a deep breath. "Prepare the fleet. We move forward. The unknown awaits, and we will face it." The Sapphire Armada, humanity's pride, sailed into the mysterious darkness, carrying courage, curiosity, and the hope of a species that dared to challenge the void. The Sapphire Armada had sailed into the unknown, guided only by the mysterious signal. Space around them was silent, almost too silent. Stars shone coldly in the darkness, but the emptiness felt heavy, as if it were watching every move of the fleet. Admiral Kane stood on the bridge of the Sapphire Dawn, scanning the empty void ahead. "Keep sensors active. Maintain formation," he ordered. "We do not know what is out there. Every crew member must be ready." The fleet moved cautiously, each ship keeping close to the others. The smaller scout vessels flitted ahead like fireflies, probing the darkness for danger. The deeper they traveled into the uncharted system, the more the air seemed to grow tense, even inside the ships. The artificial lights and hum of the engines could not hide the feeling that something was wrong. Captain Rios, standing beside Kane, frowned at the readings. "Sir, there's debris ahead. Not natural. Pieces of ships, or structures. Human or alien, I cannot tell. It's destroyed." Kane leaned forward. "Show me." The screen flickered, displaying broken remnants of massive ships floating silently. Some were scorched, others torn apart by unknown forces. No life signs. No traces of survivors. Only silence. Lieutenant Aaron swallowed hard. "Sir, this is not just abandoned. Whatever happened here, it was fast, violent, and deliberate." A chill ran through the bridge. The crew had trained for many scenarios: hostile aliens, malfunctioning AI, even cosmic storms. But nothing could have prepared them for this. Ships, structures, maybe entire crews, vanished in the blink of an eye. And now the Sapphire Armada was moving into the same system. Kane's voice was steady but quiet. "Proceed. We are explorers. We cannot turn away. But stay alert. Every sensor must be monitored." As the fleet entered the heart of the system, strange phenomena began to appear. Lights flickered in patterns too organized to be random. Shadows stretched across the hulls of the ships. At first, everyone thought it was a sensor glitch, but then the lights moved in response to the ship's maneuvers. It was as if the void itself was alive, testing them, observing them. Suddenly, one of the smaller scout ships, the Sapphire Valiant, sent a distress signal. Its voice trembled with fear. "Admiral, something is out here, moving, it's huge." "I can't." The transmission cut off. The bridge went silent. Every officer stared at the monitor, hearts pounding. No ship in the fleet had experienced sudden disappearances like this. And now, one of their own had vanished, swallowed by the unknown. "Form a perimeter." Kane barked. "Activate all shields. Prepare for evasive maneuvers. And get another probe out, now." The crew moved swiftly, but the tension was thick. The void seemed alive around them. Shadows flickered at the edges of sensors, strange energy readings spiked without reason, and the lights of distant stars appeared to bend and twist. Lieutenant Aaron's hands shook as she monitored the readings. "Sir, the signal, it's stronger now. But it's not just a signal anymore. Something is moving toward us." Kane's eyes narrowed. "Show me." The screen displayed a massive shifting shape in the distance. Too large to be any known ship or asteroid. Its form was unclear, constantly changing, like smoke caught in a strong wind. It advanced slowly, deliberately. The more they watched, the more it seemed intelligent. And aware. Captain Rios whispered, "It's like it's waiting, watching. For us." The fleet tightened formation. Shields glowed bright blue around each vessel, weapons armed and AI systems alert. But no one fired. The unknown entity had not attacked yet, it was testing them, gauging their responses. And the fear on the bridge was palpable. Every crew member felt the weight of the void pressing down on them. Then without warning the shadows surged. One ship, a mid-sized cruiser, shuddered violently. Alarms blared. Lights flickered. And for a brief moment the crew saw the impossible. A dark shape, massive and silent, moving faster than any human-engineered ship should, passing through their formation as if gravity and space itself abated. Lieutenant Aaron gasped. It's inside the formation. How is it?" Kane clenched his fists. "Stay calm. Maintain formation. We do not run. We survive, and we learn." The fleet regrouped, shields pulsing with energy. The unknown force had left no debris, no damage, only fear. The first encounter was over, but the message was clear: humanity was not alone. And whatever watched from the shadows, it was not friendly. The mysterious signal continued to pulse in the distance, beckoning them forward. The Sapphire Armada had a choice: retreat to safety or push deeper into the void, risking everything for knowledge, survival, and glory. Admiral Kane's eyes hardened. "Prepare for the next phase. The void has a secret and we are going to uncover it, no matter the cost." And with that, the Sapphire Armada sailed deeper into the darkness, unaware of the true danger waiting for them. The Sapphire Armada had entered the heart of the uncharted system. The stars were fewer here, swallowed by the vast darkness that seemed to stretch infinitely. The strange signal still pulsed in the void, guiding them deeper like a beacon of mystery. Every officer on the bridge felt a growing tension, a silent warning that they were not alone. Admiral Kane paced slowly, eyes scanning the instruments. "Every reading indicates nothing, yet something is here," he murmured. "Keep the fleet alert." We proceed carefully. The fleet sensors soon picked up something unusual, a massive structure drifting silently in space. It was enormous, dark, and angular, unlike any human construction. Shadows clung to it, stretching unnaturally, and the energy readings around it were off the charts. Captain Rios leaned closer to the display. "Sir, it's not just a ship. It's a station, or a city, abandoned but intact. And the energy readings, they're alive. Like it's watching us." Kane's expression remained steady, but a tight line formed across his jaw. "Prepare a probe. We need information before sending any ships closer. Keep weapons armed. We cannot underestimate it." The probe was launched, moving slowly toward the colossal structure. The cameras transmitted images back to the flagship. Broken towers, enormous gateways, and vast empty halls stretched across the dark surface. Nothing stirred. Yet, the energy pulses from within the station reacted to the probe's movements. It was as if the structure itself breathed, alive in its silence. Lieutenant Aaron frowned. "Sir, the probe is showing anomalies. Time readings are inconsistent. It's like clocks are running differently here. In some areas, they're distorted. I can't explain it." Kane leaned forward, gripping the edge of the console. "The void has always been strange. But this is something else. Watch carefully. Analyze everything. This station may hold secrets humanity is not ready for." Suddenly, one of the scout ships, the Sapphire Sentinel, reported a disturbance. "Sir, something is moving inside the station. It's huge, too big for any human. And it's aware of us. The shadows, they're shifting, changing shape." A chill ran through the crew. The bridge was silent except for the soft hum of machinery. No one had expected this. No one had prepared for a structure that seemed alive. Shadows flowed like liquid across the surfaces of the station, moving without gravity, forming shapes that twisted the mind. Captain Rios whispered, "It's not just watching, it's learning, adapting. We may be its first visitors in centuries, or millennia." Kane's eyes were cold and sharp. "We do not retreat. We study. We survive. Prepare the fleet. If it attacks, we fight. But we must understand it first." As the probe approached the station, the shadows reacted violently. Sensors went haywire. Instruments glitched. The probe's cameras showed fleeting images, figures moving in ways that defied logic, massive forms sliding through corridors, and glowing eyes that seemed to pierce the void itself. Lieutenant Aaron's voice shook. "Sir, the probe, it's disappearing, signals are breaking down, it's like the station is swallowing it." Kane's fists clenched. "Retrieve the probe. All ships, prepare for containment protocols. Whatever this is, it cannot reach us, not yet." The probe vanished completely. The fleet felt the void pressing closer, a silent threat growing around them. Then, faintly, a voice echoed across the comms. Words formed, barely comprehensible yet unmistakable. "You are intruders, you will not leave." The crew froze. None of them had spoken or transmitted anything. The message came from the station, or from the void itself. Fear gripped the hearts of even the bravest officers. Captain Rios swallowed hard. "Sir, this is alive. It's not just a station. It's something intelligent. And it's hostile." Kane nodded slowly. "Not yet attacking, but aware. That is enough to prepare. Shields full. Weapons ready. Keep your wits. And whatever happens, do not panic." Suddenly, a ship near the outer perimeter of the fleet vanished without warning. No explosion, no debris. Just gone. Silence replaced the hum of the engines and panic rippled through the remaining crew. Lieutenant Aaron whispered, her voice trembling, "It's taking them, one by one." Kane's eyes hardened. "This is not just a fight for knowledge. It is a fight for survival. We will not lose anyone else if I can stop it. Fleet, tighten formation. Do not let the shadows reach us." The Sapphire Armada moved cautiously, but every sensor, every camera, every instrument was failing. The station loomed closer, shadows dancing along its surface, pulsing like the heartbeat of an ancient predator. And deep inside the void, the crew realized the truth. Whatever was watching them was not just a threat, it was an intelligence beyond anything humanity had ever encountered. The void was alive, and it had noticed them. Admiral Kane turned to the bridge crew. "We are explorers. We are humans, and no matter what waits in the darkness, we will face it. But first, we must uncover its secrets." The fleet moved forward into the unknown, toward the heart of the living station. The shadows waited, and the void whispered promises of danger and death. The adventure, and the nightmare, had only just begun. The Sapphire Armada hovered at the edge of the colossal station, its dark silhouette looming like a predator over the fleet. Shadows danced along its surface, pulsating in strange rhythms. Every ship was alert, shields at full strength, weapons charged. The unknown intelligence that controlled the station was aware of them, and it was waiting. Admiral Kane stood on the bridge of the Sapphire Dawn, staring at the viewscreen. "We cannot retreat. Knowledge, survival, and the safety of humanity depend on what we do next," he said, voice calm but resolute. "We face the unknown and we face it together." Captain Rios beside him nodded. "Sir, the station's energy readings are fluctuating. Is preparing for something." Lieutenant Aaron's fingers flew across the console. "Shields are holding, but the shadows are forming again. They're not just moving, they're attacking. They're learning from our formation." Kane took a deep breath. "Then we use what we know. Deploy drones to map the shadows. Prepare the fleet in attack formation. But remember, this is not just combat. It's strategy. They are studying us. We must be unpredictable." The fleet adjusted quickly. Smaller ships darted around the station like fireflies, confusing the shadows, while the larger cruisers formed a protective perimeter around the flagship. Energy beams and laser turrets hummed in readiness. Every officer knew that the coming battle was unlike anything humanity had faced before. Suddenly, one of the scout vessels screamed over comms. "Sir, it's too fast. It's passing through shields. The shadows, they're not solid, they're phasing through us." The crew gasped. Even the most experienced officers struggled to process the information. The void itself was bending the rules of physics. The shadows were attacking in waves, moving unpredictably and learning with every strike. Admiral Kane's voice cut through the chaos. "Focus. Shields must hold. Weapons must fire at every anomaly. The unknown fears unpredictability. We will be unpredictable." The fleet responded immediately. Ships darted in patterns no AI could predict, firing in bursts, dodging through the shadows. Energy shields flared, sparks of light illuminating the darkness. The station seemed to pulse in response, like a giant, living heart preparing to crush them. Lieutenant Aaron's voice trembled. "Sir, one cruiser is trapped in a shadow field. It can't move. The crew is reporting extreme spatial distortion." Kane's jaw tightened. "Divert power to shields. Launch rescue drones. No ship left behind." The crew moved with precision, fear driving them to act faster and smarter than ever before. The shadows writhed, attacking, retreating, and circling. Each strike tested the fleet's defenses, but humanity adapted. The Sapphire Armada was not just a fleet, it was a single, united organism, moving as one, thinking as one. Captain Rios shouted, "Sir, their form is changing. The station is creating something alive. It's forming a massive shadow creature." The view screen revealed a terrifying sight, a shape larger than any ship, writhing in darkness, its edges shimmering and phasing in and out of reality. The shadows from the station were converging, creating an entity designed to destroy them. Admiral Kane's mind raced. "We cannot destroy it conventionally. We must trick it, confuse it, and strike when it is off balance. Target the station's energy nodes. Distract its form. We are humanity. We survive because we are clever." The fleet executed the plan with flawless coordination. Smaller ships drew the shadow creature toward decoy positions while the larger ships fired concentrated beams at weak points on the station's surface. Energy exploded across the void, illuminating the darkness like sudden lightning. For a moment it seemed the creature faltered. The shadows twisted, shrieked in silence, and withdrew from the fleet. But the threat was not gone. It was learning, waiting, adapting. Humanity had survived the first strike, but the void had not revealed all its secrets. Lieutenant Aaron breathed heavily. "Sir, that was too close. We barely survived." Kane's eyes remained steady on the view screen. "Close calls make us stronger. We learn. We adapt. This battle is not over. The Armada is alive, and so are we. The unknown may be vast and terrifying, but humanity will never bow. The shadows retreated slightly and the fleet regrouped. Repairs began immediately, shields recharged, weapons recalibrated. But every officer knew that this was only the beginning. The station, and the intelligence controlling it, was far from defeated. And in the darkness beyond, the void pulsed with anticipation. The Sapphire Armada had shown courage, strategy, and strength. But the next challenge would test not only their ships but their very humanity. Admiral Kane turned to his crew, voice firm. Rest if you must. But remember, our fight is just beginning. Humanity faces the void and we will not back down. The fleet hovered at the edge of the shadows, ready for the next encounter. The battle had been won, for now. But the void was patient. And it never forgot those who dared to challenge it. The Sapphire Armada had survived the first confrontation with the shadows, but the fleet bore heavy scars. Hulls were damaged, shields flickered, and the crew's nerves were frayed. The void was silent again, but the calm was deceptive. Every officer knew it was only temporary, the unknown force was patient, and it was learning. Admiral Kane stood on the bridge of the Sapphire Dawn, staring into the darkness ahead. We cannot remain here, he said. The station is preparing another strike. We need a way to disrupt its energy flow, or we will lose more ships. Lieutenant Aaron's hands trembled as she typed rapidly on the console. Sir, the shadows are coalescing. They're forming larger structures, moving faster. If the fleet engages them head-on, it could be catastrophic. Kane's eyes narrowed. Then we need a solution that doesn't risk the whole fleet. Any suggestions? There was silence, except for the hum of machinery. Then a quiet voice spoke up, Ensign Lyra, a young officer with a reputation for bravery. Sir, I have an idea. I can pilot one of the smaller ships into the station's core, manually disrupt its energy nodes. It's dangerous. I might not survive. But it could save the fleet. The bridge went silent. Every officer felt the weight of her words. The plan was almost certainly a death sentence. Yet it was the only way to protect the Armada. Kane's voice was calm, but heavy with emotion. Lyra, are you certain? I am, Admiral, she said firmly. If I don't do this, everyone else may die. I'll buy you time. Captain Rios clenched his fists. This is suicide. There has to be another way. Lyra shook her head. There isn't. Not if we want the fleet to survive. I'll do it. Kane's jaw tightened. Very well. Prepare your ship. The fleet will cover you. Godspeed, Ensign. Lyra entered the small fighter, the Sapphire Arrow, her hands steady on the controls. The bridge crew watched in tense silence as she launched toward the station. Every second stretched like an eternity. Shadows twisted around the station's surface, sensing her approach, reacting to her presence. Inside the fighter, Lyra could feel the energy waves from the station. They pulsed like a heartbeat, strange and unnatural. The void seemed alive, pressing against her ship from all sides. But she pushed forward, steadying her nerves. She had a mission and she would see it through. Target the energy nodes, destabilize the core, she whispered to herself. The fleet provided cover, firing bursts of light and energy to distract the shadows. Sparks flew across space as weapons met the dark forms. Yet the shadows were relentless, twisting around Lyra's fighter, testing her every maneuver. Finally, she reached the core, a swirling mass of energy that powered the station. Her ship's tools connected to the nodes, sending pulses that disrupted the energy flow. The station shuddered violently. Shadows convulsed, then began to retreat, their form collapsing into chaos. Core destabilized, retreating now, she reported. But the void had one final strike. A massive shadow surged forward, engulfing the Sapphire Arrow. Lyra's voice came over comms, calm but resolute. Admiral, tell them. The transmission cut off. Silence returned. The fleet watched in shock. Lyra had sacrificed herself. Her courage and determination had bought the Armada time, but the cost was unbearable. The Admiral's hands clenched the edge of the console. She saved us, he said quietly. We live because of her. Humanity will remember her bravery. Captain Rios's voice trembled. Sir, we have to honor her. We have to finish what she started. Kane nodded. We will. The fleet survives. And we will not forget the price of survival. Humanity's courage is measured not only in victories, but in sacrifices. Across the void, the station lay weakened, its shadows scattered and confused. The Sapphire Armada regrouped, shields repaired, weapons recalibrated. The fleet had endured the first real cost of facing the unknown. And the lesson was clear. The void demanded respect and survival required courage beyond fear. As the crew mourned Lyra, they also felt a renewed determination. The Armada would continue its mission. The void had been challenged, and humanity had endured. But the shadows were still out there, waiting, patient and hungry. Admiral Kane looked out at the darkness. We honor the fallen by moving forward. We honor bravery by facing the unknown. Humanity will not bow. Not now, not ever. The Sapphire Armada sailed on, carrying the weight of sacrifice, the hope of survival, and the promise that courage would light the way through the darkness. The Sapphire Armada moved cautiously through the weakened station's perimeter. The shadows that had haunted them moments ago were scattered, but the sense of being watched lingered. Every ship was tense, every officer alert. The void had not revealed all its secrets, and humanity was determined to uncover them. Admiral Kane stood on the bridge of the Sapphire Dawn, eyes scanning the sensor feeds. "We have survived the first wave," he said. "Now we must understand what we are facing. Knowledge is our weapon as much as lasers and shields." Lieutenant Aaron's fingers flew across her console. "Sir, the alien signals embedded in the station are more complex than we imagined. They're not just random energy pulses, they are a form of communication. Possibly, instructions or warnings." Captain Rios leaned forward. "Can we decode it?" Aaron nodded slowly. "It will take time, but yes. Some of the patterns repeat. They describe energy flows, structures, even life forms that powered this station. The knowledge is ancient, older than anything in our records." Kane's expression darkened. "Ancient and dangerous. Proceed carefully. Every piece of information could be a key, or a trap." Hours passed as Aaron and the science team worked tirelessly. Slowly, the message of the station began to reveal itself. It spoke of civilizations long extinct, of systems consumed by a force that devoured stars. The station had been built to study this force, to contain it, maybe even control it. Lieutenant Aaron's voice trembled. "Sir, the entity we faced, the shadows, they are part of something much larger. This is not a simple life form. It is a cosmic predator. It feeds on stars, energy and life itself. Entire civilizations vanished because of it." A hush fell over the bridge. Every officer realized the magnitude of what they were facing. Humanity had confronted something that was not just intelligent, but hungry, patient, and unstoppable by conventional means. Captain Rios whispered, "Then the station, it was a warning. Or maybe a trap." Kane nodded grimly. "Or both. The shadows we fought were only scouts. The real force, the true predator, is out there waiting. And it knows we exist." The science team discovered another chilling detail. The alien signals indicated that the force was capable of bending space, manipulating time and phasing matter. Ships and crews could vanish without a trace, just as Lyra's sacrifice had proven. Aaron's hands shook as she typed rapidly. "It can see us, learn from us, adapt. Every encounter strengthens it. If we do not act carefully, it could wipe out entire fleets, and maybe planets." Kane's jaw tightened. "Then our mission is clear. We must study it, survive it, and if possible, find a way to fight it. Humanity cannot flee forever. We face it now, or we face extinction later." As the Armada regrouped, a new message appeared in the alien signal, a fragment of knowledge almost like a clue. It hinted at a weakness, a vulnerability in the Predator's energy core. But the instructions were incomplete, dangerous, and difficult to interpret. Captain Rios frowned. "Sir, it's a risk. We try to exploit this weakness, and we might trigger a reaction worse than anything we've seen." Kane's eyes glimmered with determination. "Risk is inevitable. But inaction guarantees death. Humanity survives because we face the impossible. This is our chance." Suddenly, another shadow flickered across the fleet's sensors, smaller but faster than before. The Predator was aware of their progress. It was testing them, warning them, and perhaps preparing its next attack. Lieutenant Aaron whispered, "Sir, it knows we are decoding it. It's responding." Kane's gaze hardened. "Then we use that. Knowledge is power. Courage is our shield. And humanity is unbroken. Prepare the fleet. We will finish what we started and we will survive." The Sapphire Armada moved forward, deeper into the heart of the station, carrying humanity's hope and its growing fear. The void had revealed part of its truth. The shadows were only the beginning. The Predator beyond the stars was vast, ancient, and unstoppable. But humanity had one weapon the void could not anticipate: courage, ingenuity, and the will to fight. And as the fleet sailed into the unknown, The void whispered a promise. It was aware, it was patient, and it would not forget. The final confrontation was coming. The Sapphire Armada hovered at the edge of the massive station, the shadows now concentrated into forms too large and terrifying to comprehend. The Predator had revealed its full strength, a colossal, undulating mass of dark energy, twisting and phasing through the void. Every sensor quivered under its presence. The fleet's shields flared and hummed as the entity moved, testing their defenses. Admiral Kane stood on the bridge of the Sapphire Dawn, eyes fixed on the chaos outside. "This is it," he said quietly. "Everything we've learned, everything we've survived, it all comes down to this moment. Humanity either fights, or it fades into the void." Captain Rios's voice trembled slightly, but determination shone in his eyes. "Sir, we can use the weakness Aaron discovered. If we synchronize the fleet's energy weapons with the alien signal pattern, we might destabilize the Predator's core." Lieutenant Aaron nodded. "Yes. It's risky, but it's our only chance. Timing must be perfect." Kane's hands clenched the console. "Then we do it. All ships, prepare for coordinated strike. Everyone focus. Humanity is about to show what we are made of." The fleet moved with precision. Small ships darted through the shadows, drawing the Predator's attention, while the larger vessels aligned with the alien signal's energy nodes. The station's massive structure seemed to pulse in response, as if it were alive and aware of their strategy. "Now!" Kane shouted. Energy beams flared, synchronized with the decoded pattern. The Predator shrieked, not a sound but a wave of psychic energy that rattled the fleet. Shadows twisted and writhed, colliding, collapsing, and disintegrating under the combined attack. The entity faltered, a massive ripple moving through its form. Lieutenant Aaron's hands flew over the controls. "Core destabilized. Core destabilized. Keep firing, don't stop." The Predator convulsed violently, phasing in and out of reality. Ships danced around it, agile and precise, while energy beams struck the weak points identified by the alien signal. Sparks of dark energy exploded across space. The void itself seemed to scream in fury. Captain Rios shouted, "It's breaking apart. It's weakening." For a final, tense moment, the Predator surged toward the fleet, a tidal wave of shadow and energy, threatening to engulf everything. But Kane remained steady. "Hold the line. Fire everything." The Armada unleashed its full power. Beams, pulses, and energy waves converged at the Predator's core. There was a blinding flash of light, followed by silence. The shadows collapsed into themselves, vanishing. The station's energy pulses ceased. Space returned to calm. The Predator was defeated, at least for now. The fleet held its formation, engines humming, shields flickering but intact. A cheer echoed through the communication lines. Humanity had triumphed. The Sapphire Armada had challenged the void, and survived. Kane exhaled slowly. "We did it. Against the impossible, we survived. And we learned. Humanity survives because we are brave. Because we fight. And because we never give up." Lieutenant Aaron's voice was soft but relieved. "The alien signals, they've stopped. The station is dormant. Whatever was here, it's gone, for now." Captain Rios nodded, a smile breaking through his tension. "We honor those who sacrifice themselves. Lyra, she gave everything. And now humanity moves forward." The fleet began repairs and regrouped, preparing to return home. The void was still vast and mysterious, but humanity had proven its courage. They had faced the unknown, survived impossible odds, and uncovered secrets beyond comprehension. As the Sapphire Armada sailed away from the station, the stars shone brighter in their wake. The galaxy was still dangerous, still mysterious, but humanity had left a mark. Their courage, ingenuity, and sacrifice had created a legacy, the Sapphire Legacy, that would be remembered for generations. Admiral Kane looked out at the endless darkness, his eyes steady and determined. The universe is vast. It is filled with wonders and dangers. But humanity will always rise to meet them. This is only the beginning. And in the void, silent and endless, something shifted, an echo of the Predator's presence, distant and patient. The Armada had won the battle, but the galaxy still held mysteries, waiting for those brave enough to face them. Humanity had survived. Humanity had triumphed. And the legend of the Sapphire Armada had begun.